So first of all, just what was your reaction yesterday when you heard the news of what had happened?
And it's just crazy, to see this, once again, another attempt, on President Trump's life. Don't think that you'd ever be experiencing, you my parents' generation went through the assassinations of JFK and King Jr. And, you saw those things in the past, but now you're seeing this happen right now. It's mind-boggling. And look, this president, is going to continue to, he's not going to give up. He's going to keep fighting, and is out there talking to the American people. He's not going to be deterred by these things. But, I think it's worrisome to a lot of people that, we're seeing now the second attempt. We've got to stop to this.
So after what happened in July, the first assassination attempt, I know that parties on both sides of the aisle, there was this call for political rhetoric to kind of be toned down a bit. Do you think that happened?
Look, I mean, I think that people have been respectful of each other, but we do have differences of opinion on how the country should go, right? And both Republicans and Democrats are going to talk. I don't think you could have a more stark contrast than between Kamala Harris and President Trump. Those are two very different worldviews. Kamala's being much more Marxist, socialist viewpoint, and Donald Trump saying, "Hey, we need to return this country to a place where we have rule of law. Where cost of living is actually affordable." And Kamala Harris can't run from that record, but talking about people's records and talking about real policies, something that we should be doing, and if anything, I mean, I would say it's more of the talk from the left of like, oh, Donald Trump is going to end democracy, and saying things like that, is unhealthy and not helpful. Right. So, the idea here is that, look, number one, I put responsibility on the person who's perpetuating these terrible acts, first of all. And then I would say, look, let's focus on the issues and focus on the policies of the two candidates running for president.
So is this a scenario where you think that the Secret Service could have played a role? Do you think the Secret Service is doing enough or could have done more?
It sounds to me like, this Secret Service member really helped save the president's life. I mean, saw this person and saw the gun barrel sticking out and acted quickly. So that, is great. I mean, it's amazing work. I think that while that's true, we also need to ensure that this president, former president of the United States running for president, has a stronger detail, than it looks like he currently does. And look, we still haven't gotten answers about what happened, with this last assassination attempt. I don't think anybody feels like we've gotten real strong answers of like, why was this person allowed to get this close? And now the question again becomes like, how did this person get within 500 yards of the president? Again, I can't do that. You can't do that. How are these people getting this close? Those are legitimate questions that I think still need to be answered. And look, in the meantime, like, we should be protecting, both candidates who are running, and, stop this kind of violence, like go after these people who are out there either calling for violence or perpetuating the violence.
Based on, look, it's been about 24 hours now. I'm sure you've spoken with your constituents, people in your community, in your home. Do you think that it's possible this sort of thing could bring Americans together, or do you think it's just pushing us farther apart?
I hope that it brings us together, because I think at the end of the day, we may have disagreements about, the future of this country, but we all are still Americans, and we love this country. We want what's best for it. We certainly don't want to see, people being killed, people being assassinated, for their beliefs. I think all of us feel like we had moved past that ugly time, in our politics. And again, it is very disconcerting to see that. right now. But yes, I think it's an opportunity for us all to come together, um, and and really try to come together and unify as a country and move forward for the betterment of all Americans, right? That's There is a moment to do that, and look, at the same time, I think you also have to say, look, that doesn't mean that we don't really talk about the policies and the real issues that are affecting everyday Americans, right? Um, that doesn't mean that we say, look, the last 4 years of this administration have been really disastrous for a lot of people. I mean, people are struggling, and so we cannot continue with those kind of policies. So we can unify, but we can also change course, and make sure that we are doing the things that actually help the everyday American people.